Hey everyone, I am back. It's Dr. Hammond here with your mental health moment. I hope that you have had a wonderful week and I hope that you're doing well as we start to wrap up the year here. It's hard to believe, but we're almost through with this year. And thanks for those so much who are joining here. It's Dr. Hammond here with your mental health moment. And if you're new to Mental Health Moment, welcome. If this is your very first time, welcome to Mental Health Moment with Dr. Hammond. It's every Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Black Women Empowered Incorporated Facebook page, LinkedIn Live, and also YouTube Live. And for those of you who tune in every single week to Mental Health Moment, welcome back. Today, I want to share with you a few tips of how to work on your wellness in this next year coming up here. A lot has happened over the past couple of years. I completely understand because I've heard a lot of stories and personally as well, just experiencing a lot of different situations over these past couple of years. It's been hard, right? But hopefully moving into this new year here, we can reset and you can reset your mindset and we can take the tips that I'm sharing, that you can take the tips that I'm sharing with you today into this new year and bring some new and positive energy in there, right? So thanks so much for those who are starting to join here. It's Dr. Hammond here with your mental health moment. And so the first tip I have for you today is really to think about how do you get back into a place of joy with all of the stresses, all of the surprises that life throws at us. How do you get back to a place of joy? And so one of my suggestions for you, a practical suggestion for you for next year, is to think about your calendar. So if you look at your calendar, whether you have a paper planner, whether you have your phone as your calendar or wherever else you store your schedule, there are days on there that are already in there that are already set, right? And so it might be different holidays, or it might be different holidays or different things that you have in your work life or your school life or whatever it is in your family's life, right? That's the things we typically put on our schedule and in our phones or in our planners if you do it on paper. But what I want to suggest to you to also add for this next upcoming year to your calendar are times that you can promise yourself that you will have joy. So, for example, this is obviously not on the calendar itself like other holidays, but um, for me and my son, for example, we add, and good evening, thanks for those so much who are joining here. We add, we call it like a half birthday, basically. So his birthday is in August, but we also celebrate a small celebration in February, just because we wanted to add a date to have more joy. That's literally all that meant, right? And I make sure, especially in the summertime, because I know things get a little bit more hectic for me and traveling and that sort of thing, that I set out mental health days. So yes, me myself as a psychologist, I also have mental health days that I put on my calendar. So I want you to think about that as you move into this new year here. What dates can you set in advance? Whether it's finding a reason to celebrate. Some of you know from past mental health moments, I'm very big on that. Find any reason to celebrate. It doesn't already have to be on your calendar. So add that on there. Add on your mental health days if you know there's certain times of year. Some of it, for some of us, it's the holiday season. For some of us, it's summer, spring, whatever time period it is for you that you know gets a little bit more hectic. Add on some mental health days or a mental health hour or whatever you can to your schedule. Very important. And I do want to say, unfortunately, life does give us days that we probably didn't want on our calendar, like anniversaries of a person that we may have lost, or maybe it was the ending of a relationship, or maybe it was another tragedy or something difficult that happened to you. So unfortunately, life already gives us those days that we can't control. Some of you, and thanks for those that are still starting to join here. It's Dr. Hammond here with your mental health moment. We're talking today about practical things that you can do headed into this new year. So one of the things I'm suggesting to you is to add more positive dates onto your calendar that may not already be there to experience some joy. Because even with some of you may have already known if you've watched past mental health moments, but for myself personally, losing someone that was very near and dear to my heart last July is still very difficult. So that date, that anniversary date, is a difficult date, right? That is something that life put on our calendar, right? Grief dates or whatever other type of dates. However, that I couldn't control, that we can't control, but what we can control are the dates that we want to set for joy. That is something you can put on your calendar. So that's my first tip for you. And I will say just briefly as an aside before I get to my next tip, because I know we've talked about the grief topic before, and everyone grieves in different ways. There's plenty of resources if you ever need anything. I'll put my website in here. There we go. I'll put my website in here for you. But if you ever need any resources related to that, please feel free to reach out. It's, as I mentioned, personally going through it, it's not at all the easiest process, but there's a lot of healing that can come about through that process. And there's a lot of hope. There really is, even though some days it doesn't seem that way. There really is a lot of hope when it comes to grief. So I just want to say that as an aside. And my next tip for you, and thanks for those who are still continue to join here. But my next tip for you into this new year that we have here is to really think about setting some self-care goals. Because a lot of times I know a lot of people have all sorts of different goals that they set, but it's normally not related to mental health. So for your well-being, because this is what Mental Health Moment is all about. It's about you learning how to be a better version of yourself, you learning how to be a better version of yourself for you, but also it ends up affecting the people around you, which is a beautiful thing, right? So it's kind of a bonus. But think about some self-care goals that you can set. And some of you, and it's great, already are like amazing at self-care, because I know you shared in the comments some things you do for self-care in the past, which is fantastic. Some of you say, Dr. Hammond, I really need some help still with my self-care, which is fine because we're all on this journey together. We're all at different places. But let me tell you what happens, and I will share personally because some of you already know. There was a point in my life I was just completely run ragged, not practicing good self-care, really not good for my emotional state or well-being. But then slowly I started incorporating more self-care. And over time, what happened is it became a commitment in my life. So it is ingrained in me now. Like I know I have to practice the self-care, right? So that is the goal that I hope for you to be on wherever you're at in your self-care journey. Maybe you're like, man, I need to add more self-care in, which is cool. Or maybe you're already at that point where you're like, okay, I want to continue to make the commitment for my self-care, because you have to put yourself first. Okay. I'm going to repeat that. You have to put yourself first. Self-care, I've seen it all over Instagram, and I love when I see it. Self-care is not selfish. It is not a selfish thing to do. If you don't put yourself first, you can't pour from an empty cup. You can't help other people around you. You can't take care of other people. You can't take care of yourself. The list goes on and on. You all know, because I preached this for over years here on Mental Health Moment. But it's so critical. So my second tip, as I mentioned, for you is to think about setting some self-care goals. And if you do, some of you may have this person in your life or not, and that's okay. But if you do have the person in your life that's a good accountability partner, that would be amazing. So get with them to make sure that they are helping you on your self-care goals. And self-care comes in many different formats. Only you know for you what's best for you. I see a lot of people in the comments here are saying like, yes, setting the goals, journaling, yes, for self-care. I see a lot of that. So that's a good thing that you guys are agreeing that self-care is very important. I know this is not the first, second, third, or fourth time you've heard it, but I am urging you to set those goals and write them down somewhere, even if it's in your phone, if it's in your cell phone or wherever you have it. make sure you write them down, look at them often, and commit to them. And like I said, if you have an accountability partner, which would be amazing, please get with them as well. And my third tip for you today is really, it's a mindset shift, if you will. And again, I know that all of you watching this are amazing. I feel like you're amazing, even though I haven't met all of you, because you're taking this short amount of time to think about, how can I better myself? How can I work on my well-being and my mental health? So again, I know each and every one of you may be at different places for this tip. But my third tip, my third and final tip for you today is for you to think about this idea that you deserve to have healing in your life. So I'm going to repeat that again. The third tip for you is for you to really embrace and understand that you deserve healing in your life. And I don't know in what area you may need this healing, only you know. It may be physically that you need this healing, it may be emotionally or mentally that you need this healing, or spiritually. Whatever aspect of where you're hurting, I know you all because I'm a psychologist. I've talked to a lot of people. What we see online, what we see on social media, most of the time is not at all what people are going through. It's a highlight reel of what people want to show. And I've heard a lot of stories of a lot of heartache and a lot of pain. Uh, but within that, because all of us go through that at some point in our lives, within that time period, whatever you're struggling or dealing with, please understand that it starts with a mindset of understanding that you deserve to have healing. As I always tell you, and thanks for those who are still starting to join here, it's Dr. Hammond here with your mental health moment. We're talking today about tips that you can use moving into this new year here, where we're going to reset, we're going to recharge. It's been a lot, especially with COVID and all of the different changes in the world globally, but we're going to move into this new year in a positive way. So again, my third tip for you is for you to have the mindset. Maybe you need to write it down. Maybe you like affirmations. Maybe you want to say it to yourself every day. Maybe you want to see it. There's plenty of apps on the phone that you can use as well. But whatever it is, for you to understand that you deserve healing. And with that being said, healing comes in a lot of different formats. So it could be therapy. And many of you know that I am more than happy to connect you. You can go to my website, drnikishahammond.com, reach out if you decide to take that route and need that route. Wherever you live in the world, I will try to connect you with the appropriate resources or therapists. Or if you're in the US, I know many throughout the country, but even if you're out of country, I'll try my best to help you find someone if that's what you need. Maybe you need healing in another format. Like I mentioned, maybe it's physically, maybe you need more movement in your life, more exercise in your life, or nutrition or sleep. There's a lot of different ways to have healing that affects you mentally. And of course, we know the mind-body connection, right? There's meditation, there's taking time for yourself. There's a lot of different ways. But before that, you have to understand and really strongly believe that you deserve healing. And I'm telling you that today too. As I mentioned, I haven't met all of you, but I just feel in my heart that you all are amazing individuals who tune in to Mental Health Moments. So I am telling you, if nobody else has told you, that you absolutely deserve to have healing. As I mentioned, there is no trophy for suffering. There is no reward that someone's going to send you in the mail for suffering. It doesn't work like that. You deserve to work on your healing. Yes, learn lessons in the process of whatever you're going through, but you deserve to have that healing. And again, if you all need me, you can always either reach out on drnikishahammond.com, or, which many of you do instead, on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, every social media platform, Clubhouse. So you can send me a direct message on there if you feel more comfortable that way. And again, I will get you the resources to whatever mental health situation that you may need. If you need something for a child, if you need something for yourself, a friend or family member, I'll do my best to connect you. Because one of the other things about Mental Health Moment is This was designed, gosh, I think almost 4 years ago, you all. Next year will be 4 years of Mental Health Moment. But another reason for Mental Health Moment is to reduce the stigma of mental health treatment, especially in Black and Brown communities, because we know that it's there, unfortunately. So, again, I'm more than happy to connect you. And before I wrap up today, I do want to give a special shout out. I don't know if she's on here, but a special shout out to Dr. Jackie King, who remains the one of the most amazing individuals that I've met. She is the founder of Black Women Empowered Incorporated. If you haven't heard, you probably have. But Dr. Jackie King, she's an absolute amazing individual. I'm honored to call her a friend. She's a reason for this platform, which is reaching millions of people throughout the globe. And I'm honored to be here on Mental Health Moment on her platform. So I just want to give a shout out to her. And if you see her on social media, please embarrass her and tell her a big thank you, because she does not like a lot of attention. So reach out to her, Dr. Jacqueline King, on social media, and make sure you thank her for this platform. But again, send me again. I know I see some of your comments in here, but send me your questions or your needs for resources, either at the website or on the direct message on social media. And I hope that you all have an amazing week. We are wrapping up the year here. Of course, a couple more weeks. If you do celebrate during the holidays, happy holidays during this time. I know there's a lot on our end as well with that coming up here, but I am honored and excited, really, that you all are here learning ways to better your mental health and your wellness. So I am going to see you all next Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on Black Women Empowered Incorporated Facebook page and LinkedIn Live and YouTube Live. So have an amazing week, you all, and I'll see you next time. Take care of yourselves. Bye, y'all.